Something woke you. Not a dream. Not the AC cycling off, though it did that too, 11 minutes ago, leaving the room to slowly fill with the thick July heat that settles over East Los Angeles like a second ceiling. Something else, a sound at the edge of sleep that your brain filed incorrectly on the way out of consciousness, and now you're lying on your back in the dark, staring at a water stain on the ceiling you've memorized over 8 months of renting this place, and your body knows before your mind does that something is wrong. The clock on the nightstand reads 1:47. The sheet is stuck to your back. The curtain on the east wall moves, barely, though there is no wind tonight. You read the papers. You know the name they're using, Night Stalker, though you don't say it out loud because saying it makes it real, and real things can find you. 13 people dead in their homes this year. The articles say he comes through windows. The articles say he chooses neighborhoods like yours. 3 weeks ago, you stood in the kitchen and checked the latch on the east window and noted that it was loose and told yourself you'd fix it this weekend. And then the weekend came and you didn't. You hear it again. One sound. A shoe sole dragging 1 inch across linoleum. It comes from the kitchen, 40 feet away through a hallway you cannot see from where you lie, and your brain does what it has always done. It reaches for the innocent explanation, the cat, the refrigerator, a dream you're still half inside. You hold the explanation up against the sound, and it almost fits. You lie still. You wait. 10 seconds. 20. Then you hear breathing that isn't yours. It is low and unhurried, and it is coming from the hallway. Your mind runs the math without your permission. What you have: a bedside lamp with a ceramic base, a baseball bat in the closet 6 feet to your left, a phone charging on the kitchen counter, which is 40 feet away, and on the other side of whoever is breathing in your hallway. What you don't have: time to reach any of it quietly. You stay still. You make yourself small. You count the footsteps as they cross the kitchen tile and enter the hall. 11 steps from the kitchen to your bedroom door. You reach 8 before they stop. The sliver of light under the door, from the small nightlight you've had plugged into the kitchen outlet since you moved in because the hallway was always too dark, goes black for a moment as something passes in front of it. Then it comes back. You watch it the way you'd watch a pilot light to know if the gas is still on. 30 seconds. 40. Nothing. Then the footsteps retreat, back toward the kitchen. You hear the soft click of the back door. Silence so complete you can hear your own pulse in your jaw. You wait 3 minutes. You count them in thousands, the way you were taught as a child. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, and somewhere around 140 you begin to believe it's over, that he came and reconsidered and left, that you survived by doing nothing, by being still, by being forgettable. Relief is not the right word. What you feel is more like the sudden absence of pressure, the way a sound you've stopped noticing becomes obvious only when it ends. You swing your legs over the side of the bed. You stand. You take 1 step toward the closet, and your foot finds the floorboard dead center, the one you have been stepping around for 8 months by reflex and muscle memory. And tonight, in the dark, in the terror, you forgot. The creak is not loud. In a normal house on a normal night, it would be nothing. But in this silence, it is a gunshot. There is a pause of maybe 2 seconds. Then the footsteps come back fast. The bedroom door opens, the way a person opens a door when they want to show you they are not afraid of you seeing them. Calmly. Fully. The figure in the doorway is backlit by the kitchen nightlight, and he is tall and dark-clothed, and for a moment he is completely still. He sees you. You see him. He looks almost ordinary, which is the most frightening thing you have ever seen in your life, because monsters are supposed to look like monsters, and this one just looks like a man standing in your doorway at 1:47 in the morning in July. You pick up the lamp and throw it. The ceramic base hits the doorframe and shatters without slowing him at all. You scream, not words, just volume, and you run left instead of right, because he is between you and the door, and the window is behind you. And you go through the screen with your forearms crossed in front of your face, and it tears like paper, and you land on both palms in the side yard, the dry summer grass rough against your skin, gravel biting into your hands, and you run. You don't look back. You run 3 houses down to the Garcias, where Maria Garcia always leaves the porch light on, has always left it on, every night for as long as you've lived on this street, and you pound the door with both fists until your palms scream where the gravel opened them. 40 seconds before a light comes on upstairs. 40 more before the door opens. Maria Garcia, 62 years old, in a robe, takes one look at you and steps back to let you in without a word, and locks the door behind you. You look out her front window at your house. Dark. Still. You breathe. You almost let yourself believe the worst is behind you. Then the flashlight beam appears inside, moving room to room through your windows. Methodical. A man doing inventory. He is not panicked. He is not fleeing. He is taking his time. The police dispatcher puts Maria on hold for 90 seconds. When the officers arrive, they clear the house and find him gone, over the back fence into the alley. Standard. One officer walks you through each room, clipboard in hand, voice professionally neutral, asking you to confirm what's missing. You move through your own home like a stranger. The bedroom looks almost normal. The broken screen hangs from the east window, catching the streetlight, and the cat sits on the inside sill watching you with the complete indifference of an animal that was here the whole time and found the whole thing unremarkable. What's missing is specific. A piece of jewelry, not the most valuable you own, but the one you'd have chosen if someone asked you which mattered. A photograph from the hallway. A family gathering, nothing remarkable. A face in a crowd. And in the bathroom, evidence that he was there well before 1:47. Evidence he was calm there. Evidence he was not in a hurry. The officer crouches by the east window and points his flashlight at the latch. He asks if you've had any work done on this window recently. You say no. He says the marks on the hardware are old, oxidized at the edges. This wasn't done tonight. He had been in your house before tonight. You don't know how many times. You don't know if you were home. The officer gives you a card for a victim's advocate, tells you to arrange somewhere else to stay, tells you the department is actively pursuing leads. Then he leaves, and you are standing on your own porch at 3:18 in the morning, and the house is legally yours, and you cannot go inside. You stand there until the sky begins to gray at the edges, and then you walk back to Maria's and sit in her kitchen and drink the coffee she made without being asked, and neither of you says much. You don't go back. A friend collects your things. The landlord, to his credit, lets you out of the lease. You start over somewhere new, a new street, new locks, new latches you check 3 times every night before bed, and then check once more. The attacks continue through August. You follow every report. Each new address in the news is proof that your survival was not a reward for anything you did right. It was arithmetic. He heard a floorboard and recalculated. You were not worth the added complication that night. You did not outwit him. He simply chose not to continue. On August 31st, neighbors in East Los Angeles recognize a face from a newspaper photograph and detain a man attempting a carjacking on Hubbard Street. The city breathes. You read the headline at your desk in the new apartment, and you sit with it for a while and feel something you don't have a clean word for. Not relief, not victory. The closest thing is the feeling of a sound you'd gotten so used to that you stopped noticing it. And now that it's gone, the silence where it was feels strange and vast, and not entirely peaceful. He is tried and convicted in 1989 and sentenced to death. Months after the arrest, Sorting through a box your friends packed from the house, you find the photograph returned to you after being logged as evidence. You don't know when he took it from the wall. You don't know why he took it, whether it meant anything to him or was simply the nearest object at hand. You hold it for a long time. Then you put it back in the box. You don't hang it in the new apartment. You don't throw it away either. The locks you checked before bed that night were not what stood between you and him. They never were. What stood between you and him was the specific arithmetic of one particular night, the floorboard he heard, the complication you accidentally became. You did everything right and it didn't matter, and you survived anyway. And the most quietly devastating thing about that is that you know, and you will always know, exactly how much credit you deserve for being alive. Some things you just carry. Richard Ramirez killed at least 13 people in their homes before Los Angeles neighbors stopped him themselves in 1985. He died on death row in 2013, having never shown remorse for a single night. If you want to see more, click the video on screen now.